Welcome to my channel. If you want to figure out how to make clothes for Vrchat like this, or make your own asset store like this, then keep watching my videos. Today we'll be going over the basic steps of how this is done and the softwares that I use personally. Today we'll be using two softwares, Blender, which is free and I'll link it down below, and Stylus 3D, which is free with a 3-month trial if you use my link below. After I've gotten all my software, the next thing I'll do is get onto Pinterest and try to find some inspiration on what I wanted to make. I knew I was going to make a video, so I wanted to make something pretty simple. I decided on a bodysuit, so I just looked up bodysuit and tried to find a reference image similar to what I wanted to recreate in 3D. I had finally decided on a tank top that I wanted to do. The next thing I'll do is look up sewing patterns. As this is a 3D sewing software, it's best to follow along with the pattern. So that's what I did. I got a pattern and I entered it in on the background. I pressed import sketch and I entered in the pattern. Then you import your model. As you can see, I already imported mine, but you just import avatar and you can use their avatar or your own personal one. After I enter the pattern, I just adjust it to be close to the size of the reference model. Then I trace along the pattern with the pen tool. I'll make dots along and adjust them as needed, but usually I should just make a dot at each point, each corner point, and then once I make all of those dots, I connect it together and it will make a simple pattern. After making those patterns for each pattern on the paper, then I adjust the arcs, which are the curved pieces, and just make it as similar to the pattern as possible. After I make the patterns, I will duplicate the patterns as needed. For this specific tank top, I needed to duplicate it one time for each pattern. So now you see I have 2 pieces of each pattern. I adjusted it as needed using the move tool, flipping it however I needed to flip it. Then using the segment sewing tool, I sew the pattern together. I make sure that everything is aligned and I sew it where the pattern says that it needs to be sewed. Pressing the space tool, once I get everything aligned correctly, will allow the pattern to assimilate and join together. A tip for sewing, make sure that the arrows are all aligned. If the arrows aren't aligned, then it could end up sewing backwards and it will flip your shirt and it will make it look absolutely crazy. So make sure that the arrows align all the time, whichever way that you're sewing, just make sure it aligns. The arrows need to go the same way, and then once you're sewing it on the other side, make sure those arrows go the same way as well. Once you're finished and you're satisfied, you messed with the UVs and you added on any designs if you wanted to, you will export it as an OBJ. Personally, I use an OBJ instead of a FBX because I just find it works better. Then you will import it into Blender, which is what I've already done. So after you've exported the OBJ, you import the OBJ in Blender. You can also choose to export the OBJ without the avatar, and then you'll only get the shirt as well as the asset or the bow or any designs that you have. So you can choose that option. Me personally, I exported it together and then separated it myself, and I can do a separate tutorial on that, but for less confusion, just export it by itself. And then you just make your own texture using the UVs, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I know this wasn't the most in-depth tutorial, but if you'd like more, leave it in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, or you can ask in my Discord, which I'll link in the description. Thank you guys again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. 私の気持ちは少々センチメンタル切ないな先輩